So let's talk about the author of Children of Blood and Bone, Tomi Adeyemi. By now, everyone may have seen the trailer. I'm going to give my thoughts about the trailer as well. But first of all, we need to talk about that disturbing video that Tomi Adeyemi just dropped several hours ago. So this is definitely hot off the press. Some people spoke about this before I did, but I had to think about this a little bit because I never want to be influenced by influencers, or social media in general. I just want to look at things and think about them for a little bit. So welcome to my channel. Welcome to From the Desk of Erica, where different things land on my desk and I talk about them. So let's talk about creativity, getting you back on track. Let's talk about culture, and let's learn how to shift our own mentalities so that it all makes sense. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, why haven't you? My channel did go through some revamping, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, let's jump into the video by Tomi Adeyemi. So I'll link to the video somewhere in the comments. But when the video first starts off, she's talking about why she will not be talking about this movie ever again. She said that she's not going to be posting about this movie ever again. Towards the end of her 5-minute video, she does say, she may not never ever talk about this project, but because of the somatic stress that she is taking on, it's doing a number on her. And that's a word that she uses throughout the 5-minute video. Tomi says that she's been taking on stress, having panic attacks, and she keeps mentioning a group of people that she calls they. These are the people who she's having her struggles with. And she mentioned a little bit that when she was on the set, her feelings were hurt and she literally had to storm off the set. So the whole time that you're listening to the video, if you want to pause here and listen to the video yourself, you certainly can, and then meet me back here. But the entire time I'm watching the video, I'm watching her body language, right? Because that communicates even more so than our words. And the entire time I'm watching her body language, I noticed a couple of things. The first thing immediately that I noticed is that she's not making direct eye contact. She's literally looking down and off to the side. She's not looking at her phone. She's looking somewhere else. And she literally only makes eye contact twice. I believe it was only twice that she makes eye contact. You could tell by the shimmying or the slight shakes of her body that she's tapping her feet or she's moving around. She's nervous about something. She's upset about something, obviously. Her voice is a little shaky. And also she takes really long pauses, not just between sentences, but between words and phrases. So needless to say, people feel a way about this movie dropping already and the controversy surrounding it. There are people who are starting to give Tomi Adeyemi the side eye now. And that's because of just this entire Children of Blood and Bones movie has been through the ringer. Okay. Different movie studios did not want to take on this project. And so now I believe it's Paramount that's finally took on this project. And it's the movie is coming out January. That's not too long from now, folks. And even given that, we have this new video from Tomi that clearly expresses that something is deeply bothering her. Now, some people online are saying, you know what? She's not telling us anything. It's a whole 5-minute video of a whole bunch of nothing. She's not really dropping names. She's not really telling us anything that's going on. And so Now, I don't know how it works in Hollyweird, because that's what I call it. I don't know how it works. Perhaps she can't mention names. You know how that goes when it comes to big business corporations, movies, celebrities. You can't just drop names like that, especially in a way that's slanderous, right? But given that, we know about her fallout, her public fallout with Amanda Stenberg. So again, from the beginning, getting this book into a film adaptation is there's just one problem after the other. So here's my take on that. This is how I feel about that, right? So from the very beginning, with the colorism issue, allowing a biracial person to play as Princess Amari, I did take issue with that. As readers, when we read a book, we imagine the characters looking a certain way. Now, this does sound kind of hypocritical, because as Black people, we talk about how fantasy and fiction is different from reality, right? So if this book is a work of fiction, it shouldn't matter if someone non-Black or half-Black plays a role. So I kind of get why that would seem pretty hypocritical. But I think it's because of the very, very racist climate that we're in, and these multicultural wars that's going on, that Black people, African people, they really wanted a movie right now that featured unambiguous Black folk. Now, when I read the book, I read only the first two books. I'm not really interested in the third book. That's probably made for another video, right? When I read the first two books, I was amazed. And I remember saying, gosh, they should make a movie about this book. And they did. I found out not even that long after that there will be a movie based on Children of Blood and Bone. As we're reading, getting back to readers, as we're reading, we're seeing the film unfold in our minds, and we picture the people looking a certain way. Okay. Now, yes, this is fantasy. It's a young adult fiction fantasy. However, the description of the characters and even the mentioning of colorism throughout the book, at some point in the book, means that in the film adaptation, that is what we are expecting. That's what we were expecting. So some people had a problem with Amanda being playing as Princess Amari. Over time, I got over that, because at the end of the day, actors need work. And I still wanted to see this come to life on screen, right? So if she can play the part well, I'm not mad at that. However, I think part of the problem is that Tomi Adeyemi, the author, was rolling really hard for Amanda Stenberg. She really wanted her to play as Princess Amari. And according to some reports that I read, the author admitted that after seeing Amanda play in the Hate That You Give movie, she imagined her as one of the characters in her book. And so she definitely supported Amanda in playing as Princess Amari, but now they're having a falling out, to the point where the author, showed us publicly that she's blocking Amanda, and Amanda doesn't want to deal with her anymore, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, this is a very messy controversy for something that is supposed to be magical, positive, uplifting, but unfortunately it's causing an author to have breakdown, and their friendships or whatever she and Amanda had is completely broken. The author is saying she does not want to support the movie. She's not going to see the movie. She wants nothing to do with the movie. So it's like, readers, we were expecting one thing, and we're getting more than we bargained for. So I feel that, The author just did not really pay attention to what her audience was saying. I don't think she really cared. She really wanted Amanda on this project, and and that's her prerogative. She's the author, right? But when it comes to making a movie, from what I'm hearing, and from what I understand, the directors, the producers, they are going to do what they wish to do. And there are other authors who've been through this before Tomi, there are other authors, famous authors, whose film adaptations based on their books, they didn't particularly like. But again, we still don't know exactly what was going on behind the scenes for Tomi to drop this video hours ago with strange body language. And my thing is, Tomi, if you're listening to this, don't deal with social media anymore. Don't try to get in front of the cameras anymore. This is your time to collect your peace. Get some therapy if you need it. And I'm not saying this to be judgmental or to be funny. I'm saying this from one woman to another, right? One creator to another. You need time to heal. You need time to yourself. If you need to talk to someone, talk to someone. Posting videos on the internet is rough because people are going to have their own opinion about you. And a lot of it is not going to be positive. Even some of what I'm saying and what I'm about to say may not seem as positive, but sometimes we just need to shut off our mobile devices, shut down our PCs, and just not hit record. Okay? We need to know when we need help versus needing to just share things publicly. And what's interesting is she didn't really share anything with us. There was so much left unsaid. So on one hand, I understand she's probably, not trying to slander anyone verbally like that. But at the same time, I just wish that she would have took that time to heal and just stay off the camera, especially if she wasn't going to say anything. Okay, let's talk about this trailer while I have a few minutes to spare. Okay, so I have one sentence to say. I did not like that trailer. I did not like that trailer. And to be honest, it's very rare that I dislike a trailer, especially a trailer based on a book series that I love. So when the trailer first opens up, I'm not familiar with a lot of Beyonce's songs, only her older ones, right? The music choice was not something that I would have chosen, but there are people who like the music choice. So this is just my opinion. My words are not law or anything like that. I'm just telling you things that we can think about and discuss, right? I'm not a fan of the music choice. Number two, the opening of the film and the atmosphere of the film, the costume, the set design, all of it it screamed Woman King to me with a mix of Black Panther, but more of Woman King. And what's interesting is that some of the actors from Woman King are in here too. Okay. You have Thuso Mbedo, who played as the main character in Woman King. And of course you have Viola Davis. And then you have the other woman's name. And I feel so bad that I literally just knew what her name was. Gosh, what was her name? Lashana Lynch. So they're all in this movie as well. I did not like the wigs that were used. I did not like, it seems like it just did not look the way that I imagined that it would look. And to be fair, that happens a lot of times when it's book to film, right? So I understand that the film also is not going to have everything in it. It's hard to squeeze in trilogies into a 2 hour film, or even squeezing in 400, 500 page books into a 2 hour film where it's just very detailed, So I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that part. And I also understand that the directors, the producers, they try their hardest, right? But it's something else that was wrong with the trailer that I just wasn't feeling. I just wasn't feeling it. So it looked, I don't want to say flimsy, but it looked like something was missing. There were a couple of moments where I was like, "Ooh, this looks really cool." So I told my husband, I said, "Watch this trailer with me, and then I'm going to give you my opinion, and then I want your opinion on it." So he watched it, and he said, "Yeah, it does give Woman King vibes, but when you're doing a film fantasy that's like out of Africa and things like that, you do a film from that continent, it's going to look kind of like that. So I don't have a problem with the trailer personally." So my husband don't have a problem with the trailer, and he explained his reason why, and I actually understand his reason why. Me, I'm not mad at the trailer at all. I guess it just fell short for me, which is why I didn't like it, which is why I don't like it. I may still go support the film. Okay, because it'll be something really, really cool to watch, and I want to support. I seen the cast, who's going to be playing in the film, and I absolutely love the choices for the most part. But yeah, I didn't like the trailer, but I may still support it, Lord willing, in January. Okay, I didn't want to make this video too long. Let me know your thoughts below. Go ahead and hit the like button, the subscribe button, and let me see your comments. I don't want to just be talking into the void, because I value other people's opinion. Just keep it nice, keep it sweet, give your own opinion, but keep it respectful. All right, until next time.